Israel.
So yeah, very good. And I was able to capture the link and put it in my Google Keep. So very pleased with that. Very pleased.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's a very helpful business card technology.
Can you share the link?
How do I share the link? Okay. I will attempt. I think I know Mona. I got it. I don't know. Mona put it on the chat box. If you click on you, okay, here it is.
I've shared it on the chat box.
Okay, go Enrique. So Mona just shared it.
Yeah, I saw it here, and in my understanding of technology, which is very nil, I already took a picture of it. So I'll have to once we
and
finish.
If you want to email me all these, I can send it in the follow-up email after. So email perfect. Whatever you guys talked about. If you want to send it to me, I will compile them all and I will send them out to you.
Yeah, if Mona, you can email me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Is there one more technology thing we want to share?
Pardon me?
Yes. This is Enrique. If you can email the link to Kristen, then I know.
She already has mine. Has mine. So okay. I can resend it. I can definitely resend it for sure. No problem.
You mean the link? The link, you mean?
Yeah. E-card. Yeah.
Okay.
So my e-card will have the link. If you want the similar e-card, it'll have the link. And the person who does this is Tal Zilberberg. Just give him my reference and he'll help you out. He's based in Israel.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm going to share a technology that I was using this morning, and it's called Everlance. So it's an app on your phone that tracks your mileage and your expenses for your business. So it's a really cool app. It connects to your GPS in your car. So it tracks your personal mileage versus your business mileage. And if you have multiple businesses, it can categorize your businesses for you. And then the same with any expenses you have for your business. You can create GL codes and classify those. So I use this daily and it's a lifesaver. And then it also connects to you can email a CSV to your accountant, your tax accountant, or your regular bookkeeper. That's what I use for my business, and I really like that. So I'll share that in the email as well. It's really cool.
Perfect. That would be very good.
Yeah.
I have multiple businesses, a couple of them.
Yeah, it's really helpful, especially for the mileage piece and not having to track all that and figure that out once tax season comes. So next up, I would like for you to talk and share about someone else and tell me about the catalyst that allowed them to shift into the career that they're in now.
Could you repeat that?
So tell me about someone else you heard from them and the catalyst that allowed them to shift into the career they're in now. Introduce someone else and tell me about them versus yourself.
That's an easy one. I introduced Keith. He used to be a financial planner, and now he's an entrepreneur in a completely different area with a passion to save the forest.
I love it.
Exactamo. Very good. That'll be in. See, so Enrique, I will try to introduce you. I did not hear fully your background, but Enrique was from Peru and immigrated to the United States when there was a radical political shift in Peru. And he was involved in painting and art, and I think also in some fashion. So clearly a creative man, and in through some process, became introduced through insurance to financial matters, financial planning, financial advice, and now has been engaged in bringing in clients and assisting clients in some aspect of the financial field, but I don't know the specifics, Enrique, of your financial engagement. Plus, you also want to publish a book. So that my hearing loss disallowed me to fully understand your experience.
Pretty good summary. I'm glad that we are taping this. I'm going to print it. Thank you.
I am recording it, so it might go on YouTube if I have your permission later. I'll get your written permission later. One more or two more. Or we can skip to the next activity.
Come on, Mona.
I guess I'll have to talk about myself because they've spoken about each other.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately,
Okay, so I
hear-
was telling them, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. No
well, I was
problem.
just gonna say I didn't get to hear Greg's story because he got cut off. His phone dropped. So I'm like, I'd love to say something, but I didn't get to hear anything about him.
Greg, tell us your story and why you started Aspen Capital Fund.
Well, I started Aspen Capital Fund because I had sold my IT company, and I retired at 38. And I soon after realized that being retired at 38 was very boring, and you can get very unproductive. So I actually went to work for another fund called Hydrogen, and then they kind of told me that my thesis for investing was crazy. So I said, well, I'm going to go prove it on my own. And that's how I started Aspen Capital Fund, working with Latinos and minority entrepreneurs and startups. And it was very successful in the first fund. The second fund, we focused on sports media technology and almost lost our ass. Luckily, we got out of that in 2018 and just before the pandemic. Otherwise, we probably would have really lost, everyone's money. I was going to start a third fund this last year and realized that, funds take a long time, and decided to start doing syndication investors with some other people. And I've been meeting kind of early investors, people that have not done any investing on their own. So I've been helping them. And last year I helped a ton of startups learn how to grow and scale very quickly. So the pandemic really charged up a lot of people to start a business. I've been helping those kinds of startups. So I work with investors and startups. We have an ecosystem that introduces both of them and preps really the startups to be ready to really get going, and teaches the investors how to de-risk and co-invest into startups and what that's all about.
Love it. Brilliant. On that note, we're going to do a round robin to finish our call today. We have 10 more minutes. I would like us to do a round robin in the same order we went in earlier to start the call. And if you would please speak to what's a challenge you're facing within your professional or personal life right now that the group can help you with. What connections can we help make for you? If there's a specific talent or skill that you've identified in the group that we might be able to help you with. So tell us about a challenge or something you're working towards achieving within your business that we can help you with. I believe we started with Mona.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. See, the greatest challenge, I guess, I am facing, or the entire world is facing, is the closure of the country. We can't do much about it, and that's the reason my business has come to a complete standstill. So that's the biggest challenge that I'm facing, and you kind of feel helpless because you can't do much about it except for talk about what's happening in the future avenues. So if anybody could give me tips on how do I also market travel, then apart from what I'm doing right now, it would be great to know as to how do I introduce my country to people. And of course, we have ventured out in a few more other geographies as well, but India remains my expertise remains in India to sell the Indian subcontinent. So any tips for marketing tips will be really helpful from people.
May I
Because
say
that's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, may I give some ideas?
Sure.
When I was doing engineering, I worked here with a company that the president was an architect. He designed Disneyland and built it for Disney, Walt Disney and his brother. Okay, and we were talking about doing a project in the highland of Peru to attract tourism. And he said, Enrique, let me tell you one thing. The guys who have the money are Americans. They are the ones who travel, in spite of the fact that Europeans say they do a lot. Chinese also, but it's less amount of money. Why would an American that goes to places in Europe will change his plan and go to Peru, not to Lima, but to a highland, to a small area where they're going to see these magnificent stories and valley and everything else? You are up against that. And so what I think he said is you should promote Peru locally in South America, that they're the same language, the same religion, the same kind of travel issues. And it's a smaller market, but that's where you should concentrate. And so I passed that information in the study we're making to the locals, and they developed that. And so what impressed me a lot about it, and who was an extremely practical-minded person, okay, is that he says something brutal. Then my son had an ecotourism business in Panama, in the middle of the jungle. He's now in Spain doing something else, okay? And he had quite a lot of Americans visiting. Americans were there, and they were very demanding, but they pay a lot. Europeans, it's a lot of, uncomfortable things, but they didn't pay that much. And so you are up against that. You have Americans who are clients. How do you bring them to the places you want to? Or how do you have your people there visit America where you have these facilities, okay? Anyway, that's a comment I want to make to you, okay, from way back, I'm talking more than 30 years ago when I was working with this guy.
Good tips. Thanks, Enrique.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What about you, Enrique? What challenge are you facing? What can we help you with? I think you were next in the order.
Let me tell you.
We only have 6 minutes for everyone to go, so let's keep it brief because I want to make sure everyone has a moment.
Keith said something that I just came to realization. Imagine I'm 82 years old, and it took me all these years to figure out that I have a creative mind. I'm just cracking and laughing at that, because that has been a challenge. How do I put my creation into implementing it? Okay, I'm a guy of ideas, and it costs me a lot of time and effort to make them into a practical situation. When I find somebody that can understand me, then we have a team. Other than that, I've been having that struggle all my life, and so this has been very helpful to me, actually.
Good. Good. And then Keith was next after Enrique, right?
Sure. Actually, Enrique, I would spend some time talking to Kristen. I've worked with Kristen I know her for 12 years. She is very good with transitioning concept into actually a business, because there's the skill set of this sort of operational implementation. You might want to talk to her. Even the business we're on now, she went from idea to concept. She has that skill set you might need. For me, it's really simple. I have on the table an invitation from the 112th largest company in the world to actually buy possibly as many as I've got a $6 to $25 million potential business offer on the table. I just need $250,000 to build the prototype and to test it out. I need to be able to make the find the investors who would be interested in making, I've been trained on doing, pitches, elevator pitch, the whole story. I resist the marketing piece of that because I don't like the bullshit, but I would very much like to be able to succinctly say, yeah, there's basically $60 million potential market over the next 5 years. It's an ecological piece, and we can participate in the carbon credit market, which is basically a $7 billion market over the next 5 years. I need to know how to turn that into language that investors would be interested in hearing.
I think the next person that's going to speak is Greg, and Greg could probably help you with that, or know someone that can.
Yeah. I think you and I have talked, Keith. I think you've got to, especially right now, you've got to really be pointed and concise. And while you think the marketing piece is bullshit, the investors know that what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. And that's obviously who you need to cater to and market to, and the right investors, because you don't want someone that doesn't understand your market investing in your business and controlling it. So I think that's everyone's everyone's challenged when they're raising money. They don't understand how to actually, talk to and get investors interested into your magnificent idea. And if you don't have that skill set, you're basically doing trial and error, and that's probably why your fundraising stalls. So it's important to understand how to do that investor funnel piece. My current problem that I have is, I love to talk and coach startups. Right now we have an investor pool that's looking for scalable and startups that have 1 to 5 customers, paying customers. So I'm looking for those types of startups that can scale. Most of those are kind of tech or SaaS technologies. So I'm looking to meet more of those types of businesses. And we also have an investor pool looking for boring businesses, meaning laundromats, car washes, that sort of stuff, maybe mailboxes. So we're looking to meet up with some boring businesses that want to get exited or that are interested in selling their business. So that's what I'm looking for.
Interesting. Okay. Very good. Let's maybe help with some of those. Nate.
My biggest challenge right now is just kind of sitting in the uncomfortableness of the unknown. With having my business at a standstill right now because of totally uncontrollable forces, there's not really much I can do. I mean, I've been looking for more opportunities to speak, to, offer mindfulness and breath work and healing type coaching to groups. But, right now, there's a whole lot up in the air. So I have to wait, up to another week or so before I get some really concrete information of what's next for me. So really it's this flailing back and forth of the unknown of, fear and knowing I'm supported and, all the things that I coach people on, I'm getting to go through right now. So that's, I don't know what help is needed there other than just I'm in the middle of it, and having people to hold space for that is important to me.
Yeah. So. More breath work on the paddleboard, I guess. A safe space on the yeah, not having a safe space where we can all come together and have a breathwork class or yoga class. And yoga is a little less intimate in that way than breathwork, but.
Yeah. And I have a couple of places. I've had some people reach out and say, hey, you can use my studio to, teach breathwork. I mean, the people who've been coming to my breathwork classes are all really bummed that I don't have a place right now. But I mean, I have places I can go and do it. It's just reaching out to those, to those people. But again, I'm in this place of the unknown of I don't know what's going to happen with my space, and I won't know anything until next week. And so I don't even want to try to secure anything because I might be able to use my space. We don't know.
Right.
So until the structural engineers get out there. Yep. So
one thing at a time
of the universe.
Exactly. And it is funny.
I can't believe you still use MySpace.
Say that again, Greg.
I said, I can't believe you still use MySpace, Nate.
What do you
it's
mean?
A joke.
Oh, I know. MySpace.
That's actually how the line that I used for my wife when I met my wife.
Oh,
so my wife, I was on my phone and my wife Amy asked me why are you on your phone? And I said, well, I'm updating my MySpace page. And that was the icebreaker.
That's great.
I love it. Well, I promised to have you all out at the top of the hour, so I'm just going to quickly share just a little bit about CBC, and then if you need to go, please feel free. I'm going to put some reminders in the chat, and I just want to remind everyone. So what would be most helpful for me is building this community. A lot of you have already helped me with that. The best way is to share the newsletter to others that might want to attend some of the events, either the virtual or the in-person events. I have some exciting events coming up in Denver. I have a big one tonight. It's at Wash Park. 5:30, we're having yoga, and then I'm collaborating with Denver Events with Friends. And they usually have a turnout of around 40 to 50 people, and they play volleyball at Wash Park, and there's a little wine social. So I have some beverage sponsors, those kinds of things. I'm having a paddleboard event on Friday where we're having yoga, some mindfulness activities on our paddle boards, and we're just hanging out at the lake to start our Labor Day weekend. So those are the types of events I'm having. So just spreading the words. I know you all are out of town, so it's not as relevant to you. But eventually I hope to have travel come back and go these places and have these types of events in your city. So Keith in Northern California, Enrique in Southern California, when I'm traveling, I would love to bring people together that are in your community and have these types of events that I'm hosting in Denver and have them there. So we will get to that and begin to build that piece of it out as well. Once travel is more opened up and I have more flexibility and ability to travel. So that's what would be most helpful to me. And then just check out the website and just share. I hope to have 500 members by the end of the year. So the more aligned members I can bring, the more benefit it'll bring to everyone else. So that's my goal. But over quantity, I want the quality of people. I want like-minded leaders that lead their lives with integrity and altruism. So that is most important versus just having numbers. So, and the measure of the amazing people that are already members and that are prospective members just blows me away. You're all beautiful souls, and grateful for you all and how giving you are. Yes. So I'm going to stop recording